Hey, what's going on? It's Mitch Gonzalez here, and welcome to this video. And in today's video, I'm gonna share with you how to structure your sales team. I'm gonna share with you a snippet I did for one of my mastermind clients on exactly how you can structure your sales team, what actual roles you should hire for, and the growth path of these roles. So when they come onto your company, how do they actually grow within your business and become higher value, higher leveraged people to help you scale within your organization? And so one of the most important things for salespeople is the growth path. So I'm gonna walk you through the growth path that we use and that I've really optimized and found to be efficient, and what roles you should hire for, and the sequence of roles you should hire for, and how to structure your sales team for maximum efficiency on scaling your business. So enjoy this snippet and let's dive in. There's like a few models that you can run the sales team on, right? And like I'll go through like what we found to be the most optimal. Like you can have a sales team where they're like full just commission only and what are called end-to-end sales reps, kind of like in like the industry that Chris is kind of in, like, or like insurance or like door-to-door sales, where they have like a bunch of these, you know, outbound salespeople, and then they just throw them into the wild and they just hunt and eat what they kill. They go prospect, they set the calls, they close the deals, they knock the doors. They're like end-to-end, right? So you have like end-to-end salespeople, right? And then you have like in the software world, you have like account executives, like SDRs, which are sales development rep, right? That's what they call them. And all they do is basically an appointment setter. And then they have AEs, which are like account executives, which are like closers, right? And then in like this online marketing space, you have like high ticket closers, where typically they take inbound leads, right? From YouTube or from Facebook, right? Or from wherever. And they just take inbounds and they close them, right? So those are like kind of the three models. What we found kind of optimal is we've tried all of them. And the thing that we found, we kind of mixed, we have like a hybrid kind of mix of like the three, right? So we took kind of the best parts of all of them. Because with the sales team, like all of our guys start as like the SDR. So we start all of the guys now as an SDR, which I'll write that. SDR is basically a sales development rep, AKA appointment setter, right? SDR, aka appointment setter, right? So what these guys, and we'll go into like workflows and stuff, but high level, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing the LinkedIn prospecting, right? They're going to mine the CRM. They're going to call old leads, right? Call the CRM leads. That's the same with mining the CRM. They're going to do like the outbound emails, right? They're going to follow up with prospects. Yeah, we'll go into like workflow, but that's essentially what they're going to do. And
outbound calls.
Is that?
Outbound calls.
Yeah, that's kind of up on here.
After they get tagged from, like they came into your opt-in, they get tagged and
Yeah,
closed.
exactly.
Calling.
Yeah, call them. Yeah, exactly. They'll do outbound calls. What they'll also do is they also do discovery calls, right? So they're qualifying the leads, right? So they do like qualification calls as well, and they're setting. That's why they're setters, right? They set qualified sales calls with the closer. In your case, you guys are going to be the main closers, right? So they'll set you calls. The difference again between like a remote prospector, like we talked a little bit about a remote prospector, all they'll do is this stuff here, right? They won't call though. They'll do outbound emails, follow up, all that stuff. But they're just basically booking you discos, and then you're having to do both of the calls, right? Because that's how we typically do the sales process. But with these guys, they'll actually take the call and then set you the qualified strategy session, right? Because the highest value thing that you could be on is on sales calls, right? You should be packed calendar, like I showed you earlier, with strategy sessions, sales calls, right? And so they're going to be doing this work. So the stuff that I told you, spending 2 hours prospect, they're going to basically be full-time prospectors, meaning they'll go into LinkedIn or Facebook, etc. We'll put Facebook there as well.
How does the outbound call different from the disco? What are you doing on outbound?
Outbound call is like 2 p.m. and 2:31 in the afternoon. They're just getting a random call, right? It's just like a straight outbound call, right? But they're doing the similar thing on a discovery call on the outbound call. So they're trying to qualify them and then set them for a strategy session, right? So they're basically doing the qualification call. Sometimes what our guys will do, they'll do outbound to disco, to sales call, right? So if they can't get them, they'll do like a full discovery call, they'll set it as a disco in their calendar, and then they'll qualify them for the sales rep, for the closer. So all of our guys start as like this position, and then we have, there's two kind of positions that we have here, which would be closer, right? AKA we call them advisors, but closers, right? And they basically close deals. Right, so you guys are going to be the main people, obviously probably closing deals for a while, right? Packing your calendar with calls and being the actual closers. And then from here, again, you're just essentially, taking the strategy session and closing. That's basically what they do. And kind of the growth path, again, we've tested with a lot of different models of this. We found this to be really effective, again, especially for like B2B. But I will tell you this, the most efficient thing that you can do is have your closer or yourself on the calls with qualified appointments, right? Like that's the highest value thing that your team can be doing is qualified sales appointments, taking them and closing them. That's the main thing. But obviously the SDR is the means of booking those, at least initially, because this you can do and have a couple of these. I recommend like a good ratio is like 2 SDRs per 1 closer. So like we can say that like 2 SDRs per 1 closer. So that's kind of the structure. I'll talk about the growth path and I'll show you like where we find them, where we hire them from, how we hire them, what that process looks like, and how we turn them into a closer. Because the thing is that we do with our guys, with Jen, you're a unique scenario because you're the main closer, right?
Yes.
But you could have
my
someone,
vendors are actually
the closer.
the closer.
So you're essentially the
always
SDR.
on the call with them and the client.
Yeah. So in the SaaS world, what they do here is you're essentially like the SDR, developing the sales opportunities. Mm-hmm. And then what they'll typically do in the SaaS world is they'll get on a demo with the AE, which is account executive, which is AKA closer, and they'll introduce them, right? That's probably what you're doing, right? Introducing them, you know, and then you're handed it off and they close the deal, right? You could have an SDR do that, right? Yes. And you can just build kind of a team of SDR. Yours is a little bit different, but for most of you guys, like you'll have like a setter going into Facebook, booking you, setting you calls, doing the discos, booking them for you. You guys will have them doing outbound calls, qualifying through Facebook. You could have someone following up with the CRM as well. Like all those leads that you get from YouTube, the SDR will also take those calls, right? And you can like the leads that come in, not the strategy sessions, but the leads, you can fire them into like close, right? And then they'll follow up with those prospects and then book them into a strategy session. And this is a good ratio to have, but if you have like a lot of inbound leads, 1 SDR for 1 closer should be good, and some ads. But that SDR needs to make money through your closing. So I'll show you how we like comp them as well. Again, we used to have the sales team do the outbound prospecting, do the discovery call, do the closing call, and just do straight end to end. I find that super inefficient because now also when you ramp them up, they have to learn like one, booking calls, which is not an like you got to learn how to book calls through LinkedIn, Facebook, email. They got to learn how to do discovery calls if they haven't done that, or if they're like not well versed with your product and service. Then they also have to learn closing. There's just too many things, right? So we isolated them. We kind of isolate them in a sense, and we have them kind of work together where they give feedback to the closer as well. For like the closer will give them feedback on like if it's qualified or not. Like we need to optimize the messaging or we need to optimize the targeting, right? So there's good feedback. But this is the kind of the structure. So we have 2 roles and the growth path. So the biggest thing for salespeople is being able to have a growth path and what they can basically grow into. Here, I'll move this over. Because a lot of them, they feel like they're stuck in their current role, or they're just not growing in their life, right? So like a lot of them are maybe in a role, like good ones. You ideally want someone that's already doing some sort of like this role, but they don't think they can go and get into this role, which is a closer. So we hire them all at the beginning to become a closer. Like I want them all to become closers, right? Because, well, yeah, they start here.
And I'll walk you guys through a document that I have them go through. We have like an SOP basically, and I'll show you that. But basically they go through this process, and I start them all as an SDR because like what I told you, like the high ticket closers that used to just, we had them as well before, but I call them baby birds because they expect mama bird to come and feed them, right? And they just sit there not following up their leads, and they're just expecting people to get like calls being booked on the calendar, and they don't do it. They don't have the grit necessary to like hit targets when they're like not, like when the calendar's a little light, say this week, they're not doing anything, they're just sitting back, right? But when I start them here, now they value what it takes to book a call. And they also know that like when I set them calls, even from inbound, they know the value of a strategy session, right? And I let them all know that like each lead is valuable when we pay for it too. You know how hard it was to get it that, like at the beginning, right? So that's where we start them. Like we start them here. So we start them as like SDR, right? And these basically are setters, right? So they start as a setter, and they set for obviously the closer, right? So when they come in, they do like our training, and I put them through like basically a sales training / like SOP. So they start here, and then they go and they start as a SDR, right? The next phase that they do, the next path, is they go from like SDR to where they set calls for other people. And then from here, they typically go to like a period of time where they do end-to-end. So they'll do like the discovery call and the sales call. Because like, I do this before I send them inbound leads, right? Because one, here, I can hear them on like discos if they sound really good. Like, and I don't have a time frame. We used to have like a time frame, if they hit 10 discos or whatever, then like we kind of, there's like, if they hit 3 calls, then they go to end, or 3 sales, they go end to end. But what we do now is I just listen to their calls, and if they're really good, like I have some really good guys that did this, went to end, and only took a few end to ends, and then I just promoted them straight to a inbound closer, right? So with end to end, now they get sets from the other SDRs. So now they get put on what we call the assist calendar. So this is promoted end to end, or like promoted to assist, right? So now they're the ones that are setting onto the assist calendar for the closer, right? So that's like an intermediary step. This is all outbound. And this is where you can just scale that, like have SDR setting you, right? Then they can go to end. End
to end, so they're doing scraping the leads and doing the discovery call.
Yeah. They're booking the call, right? And again, there's like a clear growth path for them, right? So there's like SDR they set for the closer, right? Onto the assist calendar, right? The closer closes it. Then they go to end where it's only a period of time. So I don't want them to do this for like, I just want them to do sales calls. I want to see how they sound on the sales call. And like once they're good, then I'll put them on assist, right? Now the other person, now they're setting and they're doing end to ends, and they're doing the assist. So they can fill their own calendar, and they can get inbound or calls set from other SDRs, right? Once they're here, right, and they sound good, again, I've had a guy do this whole process in a month. So he started here, he sounded really good. He was booking calls, he went end to end for like a week. I put him on assist, and then I put him on these 2 calendars. And he came out of the gates closing 20%, 25%, right? So you can ramp them pretty quick.
So hopefully you found massive value in this snippet. And this snippet was actually from one of our masterminds we did, which we have the Board Mastermind, which is one of our highest level programs, where we actually work with you in person. So 4 times a year, you fly out to Miami and we work together in person, hands-on, building your business, work with you on hiring your sales team, structuring your sales team, working with you one-on-one to really maximize the core elements of your business. And also dive into strategies we've never shared before, like how to scale YouTube ads, how to create videos like this on YouTube, and how to acquire more clients for your coaching, consulting, or marketing agency business. Or even if you have a course business, we'll show you how to scale that and generate inbound appointments, and then have a sales team to take those calls and really scale to 7 figures in profit with your business. And so if you want more information, I'm going to drop a link below. You can go check it out. There's going to be a page with a video that kind of dives a little bit deeper into what the board is. If you want to be a part of it, it's, I'll tell you this, going to change the trajectory of your business and your life, because not only do we focus on business, but also your health, your wealth, and your leadership skills, how to lead a team, and how to generate profit, right? So having liquid cash coming into your bank account and really taking your life and your business to that next level. So if you want more details on that, click below, and I'd love to see you on the inside. And just as a disclaimer, we actually turn away more people than we let in because we want to keep this high quality, high value so that you can learn from others as well. So upgrade your network, upgrade your inner circle to be, with 7-figure earners. So with people that are scaling their businesses, multiple 7 figures, 8 figures, and really be a part of a true network and a community that can really push you to the next level. So if you want to upgrade your network, your inner circle, and scale your business to 7, even 8 figures, then what I want you to do is go check out the video below. Again, it's not really a sales video. You can just check it out, check out the page. If it rings any bells and it resonates, just go book a time, and I'd love to speak with you and see if you'd be a good fit. And I'll just tell you this, it is not cheap, but it will be one of the best investments you ever make in your entire business. And so if you want to learn more about that, I'll drop a link below. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.